knew we wanted to go to another island. We had decided prior on MILOS because Owen was really excited about MILOS. It's like known as the Adventure Island.
Yes. If you look up cliff jumping and Greece, MILOS will be one, if not maybe the top 5 photos on Google. So it was high on my list, and it was a short ferry ride from Paros, which is super easy. You can buy the tickets. They run, depending on the island, either every day or every few days. So make sure you plan ahead a little bit before you book your hotels. Make sure you can get there on the ferry.
Where did we buy our ferry tickets?
You just buy them online. There's a couple different sites. I would recommend just buying it directly on their ferry site. There's a couple other that sell them as well. But if anything goes wrong, same with airline tickets, it's just better to book directly. But it was about a 3-hour ferry trip. We stopped at, what was it, 2 or 3 other islands, which is actually really fun. You can stand on the deck, get a nice view, see all the islands. It's almost like a cruise in one, and then they drop you off at the port.
Yeah, the ferry was nice. Like, there's the outside seating, but then there's a whole inside section as well with like lounge couches and stuff, so you can plug in, get your stuff done. And there's also like food. There's a full-on espresso machine. I think they sell wine and drinks too, so it's a pretty chill experience. So you arrive at the port in MILOS, and from there we actually tried to rent a scooter again. When we checked in with a couple people, first off, they wouldn't rent us a scooter because they said my international driver's license didn't allow for that, which was kind of crazy because we had just rented a scooter. But I guess different islands are different, and some let you get away with things more than others.
I really wanted to go down to the south, I guess it's southwest part of the island. That's where a lot of the cool beaches are, and there's some caves and cliff jumping that I had spotted on Google. But when we went to rent a car, he said, of course, the cars can't drive down there. The roads are really bad. Maybe you should get like a 4-wheeler or a 4-wheel drive truck. And so we weren't really sure what we needed. But after the whole trip, we were glad that we rented a car, and we ended up just taking a boat trip down to see all those cool beaches. So you definitely can do it in just a small 2-wheel car and get everywhere you need to go.
Yeah, it was just a teeny tiny car. We had a little Panda.
Yeah.
I think it was $60 a day, 50.
Yeah, it was about the same price as renting a quad, but you could throw everything in the back, and you didn't have to sit outside in the weather in the hot sun. So I would recommend skipping the quad. It is a pretty small island, so we figured we would be able to drive around with no problem. And we stayed up in the north in Polonia, which turned out to be perfect. It's a nice, quiet little town, really close to some of the cliff jumping beaches that I wanted to go to, but also a short drive up to Plaka, which is the high city, and also back to the port for if you want to do a boat trip or anything like that. So kind of personal preference, whether you want to stay like down in the city near the beach, or even if you stay up in Plaka, you have really nice restaurants that have great like sunsets and little opera bars. But for me, I prefer to stay close to the water and then drive up there for like 1 or 2 nights for dinner.
Yeah, so it depends if you want like that fishing village feel, or if you want that traditional Greek small streets, painted white houses feel, because that's definitely Plaka. It has like those vibes of Nausta kind of from Paros. Polonia, they call it a trendy up and coming village. I wouldn't say it's necessarily like up and coming yet. It's very small. There is some good restaurants, but you can walk around it in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, not even. It's like 100 yards of restaurants lined with nothing else. So
yeah, but our hotel there was really nice. It served breakfast as well. It had a pool, but the pool was freezing just like the water in the ocean. So we didn't actually need that, even though it was high on our list. We were like, let's get a pool, but then it's very unnecessary, unless it's heated, probably.
Yeah, depending on the time of the year when you go there.
I wouldn't stay in the south area. I think everything mostly is on the north, and there's like a couple beaches in the south that you can easily drive to. And also if you want to see like the main attractions, a lot of them you go by boat. Yeah. So the north is kind of the place to be.
Well, the reason we went to MILOS was Sarakiniko Beach, which is that famous super white rock with crystal blue clear water that you can cliff jump and snorkel and hang out. And
here we go. I want to get a little better view of the sunrise, so we're coming over here, but like, oh my god, look how pretty this is.
Haley had the best idea to come out here for sunrise, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Sun is just about to come up.
There's probably like 20 people here. Sunrise is at 7, so it's probably 7:30, and the water is starting to get blue. Today, you have to watch the winds on these islands really carefully, and today it's going to be really windy, at least starting at like noon, and then for almost all week it's going to be windy, so we had to get things done right now before all the wind set in, because then it makes it harder to jump or to do anything on the water really, and that was our whole plan for this whole trip.
I think we went there 5 times because it was literally my favorite spot. Tons of cliff jumping, like people all over, sailboats coming in and out. I would go there every day if I could.
We're here at Owen's favorite spot, and we have all the essentials. A ham thing that smells like a donut, more pastries, snorkel equipment, which Owen likes to travel all around the world with and made me get, and a whole bunch of cameras, including the drone to make everybody mad. Here is my snorkel that I'm very proud of, that I found on the internet. But just wait. The snorkel, like what? I mean, how good does it look though?
Best place ever. So glad we started our Milos trip there. Do you have anything to say about it?
It was epic. It was my favorite. And we're gonna go back there at least 2 more times.
He was ready to move there by the end. Like, he was looking at places that how we could get back here all the time. And totally recommend getting there at sunrise, staying the whole day, watching sunset.
Yeah.
Like, you can have fun there all the time.
Yeah, we even brought our snorkel stuff. There's a shipwreck right near there that you can kind of swim around. Not too many fish, but it is pretty cool to just swim through the like crystal clear blue water. Papafragas?
Papafragas.
Yeah. Super cool little beach though. You climb down this like sandstone little notch that they had carved into the side of the cliff down to this beach that's about probably 50 feet wide, and then you can swim out through a water arch and explore some of the other caves. And then I jumped about a 50-footer at the end of the arch, which is really cool, but Haley didn't want to jump that one, so
I've had these like really crappy flip-flops that I've been waiting for them to break, and I don't know why this happens, that like the flip-flops you never want, the cheap ones, stay good forever. So I finally was like, okay, definitely not bringing those along. I need some like adventure sandals that I can take, kind of stuff that like goes good in water, that goes good for little hikes, and also looks like not too sporty where I could go out to dinner and it could match an outfit. I know that's like a tall ask. However, I found some before we left, and I got them in the mail a day before we left. Owen was like, "You've got to be kidding me." But I am very excited about them, and my outfit today matches them real perfect. We got the lime green, the black shorts, and take a look at these bad boys. They have quite high heels, like probably 2.5 inch. They have such great grip. They look rad with dinner outfits. They've worked with everything. They look good with my swimsuit right now.
We are at Papafragas, and I just jumped off an awesome cliff, so I'm happy, and now we're gonna go for a swim.
we spent the day there, and then if you swim around the corner, there's another fun little arch about 15 feet that you can jump off and swim through.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, and another small beach that a lot of people hang out with. It's super protected from the wind, so if it is a windy day, you can kind of hide out at that beach and still get some like warm weather and not too much wind in the face.
The coolest thing about Greece, it's like wherever you're going, there's all these cliff jumps, so it's like a party when you're out here.
Another beach we went to was also a popular one on the south end. This was the one time that we visited the south.
I think it had more hype just because of the ladder to the beach. We climbed down there, looked around, the water was kind of murky, the beach was small, and once you have like 5 or 6 people down there, it kind of seems crowded. So we went down, walked back up, and then...
No, it took us forever to get up, remember?
Oh yeah, there was too many people trying to come down, so you actually get stuck at the bottom trying to get out, because it's basically a one-way passage. But it's one of the most popular beaches, so it's really easy to find on Google.
Yeah, but the beach next to it was really beautiful and a perfect place to hang out during the day. You get a glass of wine at the beach bar. Oh, I think we got like some fruit to go with it. And the water's fun, there's some waves. So that was like just as cool.
Yeah, we had more fun there than than the other spot. So one day we woke up, it was super windy, blowing. We didn't really think it was going to be worthwhile to go on a hike or go down to the beach. So we decided to go explore some of the fishing villages there. And they're super cool. You see them on the way in on the ferry. They're brightly colored, literally right on the water. And you have to drive down this really windy road to get to it. But you come out at these tiny little villages and they're just sitting right on the edge of the water. The waves are literally like splashing into their living room.
And there's people that live
crazy.
in them. Yeah, you can like look in and people are just living their lives in these houses. It's like so wild. I don't know how they're not washed away.
And it's really cool.
You definitely have to go to this happy hour place that we went to. It's like the best view. It was just so beautiful. We thought we found somewhere cool and then we went out there and like the whole town was there.
Yeah.
So
It was super packed. Everyone was there like waiting for sunset. You got to get there early to get your spot. Great happy hour, good drinks. But I think Plaka is great for 1 or 2 nights. Walk around, not a whole lot to see up there. And you're going to end up driving to any of the beaches.
yeah. But we did decide like it would be a decent place to stay. If we thought that it would be kind of remote, like up on a hill, and that's why we didn't stay there. But it's fairly central and has a lot going on, so it's a really good option of a place to stay on the island.
And the biggest thing in the trip was me trying to rent a boat. Apparently, these islands are crazy windy, and a lot of the boat trips, they'll plan it, the wind will come up, they'll shut everything down, and you won't be able to like even access these crazy beaches that you see in all the photos. And the main reason I wanted to go there was to rent my own boat and explore these caves.
It was a little stressful of a week because we
Yeah.
had a week there, and this is like one of the major things we wanted to do. And we had planned to, if we couldn't take a boat, to hike to the area.
Yeah. So you could hike to this cave, but there are vipers in the rocks.
Oh my God.
They said to watch out for.
You didn't even tell me
and
that.
I didn't tell her because then she wouldn't go. Fast forward to the end of the trip. Our last 2 days, the Friday before we flew out, looked calm, and we found a boat that was heading out on a tour.
We did a boat trip.
Yes. Well, we're on a boat trip.
We're on a boat trip. We're on a little sailboat. Well, big sailboat. You can take one of these or a catamaran like behind us. And we chose this one. We couldn't decide if we wanted to do this with other people or do something of our own. But you made the decision.
Well, we wanted to just hang out and not deal with it. And right now they're about to bring us some wine and we're hanging out on the deck. So
So it's
Good
pretty
choice.
good. We ended up getting this sailboat. It can hold up to 22 people, they said. But today on ours, we only have 7 people and 2 captains. So it's like super great. We get all this space to ourselves. The other ones, like the catamarans have, it seems like maybe 25 people or something. And we are at our first stop, which is super blue water.
It seemed like a pretty good option. They handle everything for you. You don't have to worry about like parking the boat, anchoring on each beach, finding each location. So we just hired it. I think we paid about $130 each for the day. These guys take you out, they pick you up at the port, provide snacks, lunch, drinks. Basically kept bringing us drinks anytime we put our hand up, which is nice.
Yeah, all the white wine.
All the white wine you can drink. And then they have a little dinghy that can take you into the caves. So I would recommend doing that rather than renting your own.
Yeah, like initially that was kind of why we wanted to rent our own. We're like, oh, we'll get to all these places and have them all to ourselves without going. No, there's going to be tons of boats there already in every location. So that, kind of ruins the idea of doing like a private trip. But luckily we got such a flat day. It was just crazy because the whole week really was super duper windy. And I can imagine if you get a windy day on those boats, like
don't go.
It would not be okay. So definitely do it on a calm day, if at all possible.
Leave the cliff jumping to Sarakiniko Beach and just take the boat trip for fun, food, and wine.
Yeah, it was kind of an all day thing. I think it was like 9 to 6. And then we got back and then we actually went up to Plaka to have dinner and then back to our place.
Yeah.
And so, that was a week of activities.
Yeah. I would say if you're looking to go to Milos, 5 days would be about right if you were just rushing around. If you want a little more relaxed, I would say a week was perfect. By the end of it, like I said, we went to Sarakiniko 5 different times. So if you have a little less time, you could easily see everything, but a week I think is perfect. We decided not to go to 3 islands just because we didn't want to be rushed, and I think that was a good choice.
It's hard to plan which islands you want to go to, so it was easy just to go to 2 and see if we liked the vibe of Greece and if we want to go back, and just talk to more people and see where we would want to go next. So it was like the perfect amount.
Yeah, and I think I loved Greece. I think I would like to go back. I would love to go back and do a yacht trip where you go between all the islands and get to see a little bit more, stay on the boat, and just hang out on the water. I would go a little bit earlier, try to get hotter weather, warmer water.
Not hotter weather, it was really hot.
Okay, warmer water.
Warmer water.
We are saying goodbye to Milos and our little tiny panda car. Anyway, we're saying goodbye to Milos. We had a great time here, but on to our next destination.
So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe to check out all our adventures.